You look from Cicely to Reginald and back to Cicely again. So you're the reason that Lorraine was going insane? You're the one in the ruby necklace that Lorraine had? You asked Cicely, trying to get the story straight. Huh, I'm not surprised. Anyone who talks to Cicely starts to lose any notion of their sanity. Utter nonsense dribbles out of her mouth constantly. Reginald says, shooting a jab at Cicely. Cicely gives Reginald an icy stare from her one eye and looks back at you, maintaining her look of superiority. Lesser and closed minds might call what I say nonsense, but I have a gift. One given to me by the very same people who placed me and my ungrateful husband within these gems to serve as eternal resting chambers. Cicely says in a soft-spoken voice. And what was this gift? You ask skeptically. I see the future. Well, a future to be more precise. And I don't necessarily see the future itself, but the steps that need to be taken to secure this future. Cicely says eerily. And what future are you trying to bring about exactly, you ask? I'm not too sure, I just see what needs to be done and guide the wearer of my necklace to do so, Cicely says. Much of what Cicely says doesn't seem to make sense. You can't tell if she has an enlightened view or if she's plain insane, as Reginald suggests. And who were these people that gave your powers to see a path to this mysterious future? You ask Cicely. They called themselves the people of Isengras. Lovely bunch, really. They all had the same common goals, almost as if they could read each other's minds, Cicely says. You've heard the name Isengras before. Mina had mentioned that the Isengrim Coven worshipped Isengras' ideals. The people of Isengras must have been a sect of people before, or maybe at the start of the Coven. Based on your dealings with the Isengrim Coven, you must believe that Cicely's vision must be sinister in some way. And if Mistress Lorraine was listening to what Cicely was telling her to do when she wore the necklace, and that is what drove Lorraine mad, then Cicely must be at some level a dangerous figure. But what about Reginald? You look back over to the moustache man who hasn't taken his eyes off his untrusted wife for a second. How old are the both of you? You ask, the question directed to Reginald, who seems to have noticed. Old enough to be your grandfather's grandfather? He says in the raspy voice, matching the one you heard coming from the ring all this time. And I'm guessing that you settled this region? Is that why it's named after you? You ask Reginald sincerely. The swamp was never settled. From what I can hear packed away in your satchel, it still isn't. But I suppose we were among the first people to come here to try and construct a village, Reginald says, looking lost in memory. And why a swamp? It seems a weird place to try and settle. Down, you ask. Old politics. The things that drove me and the rest of the Einmeijer family here are long settled. But there's a beauty to the swamp regardless of its muck and grime, Reginald says with a light sentiment on his face. Maybe for you, Cicely says, passive-aggressively. At that moment you feel yourself being awoken from your slumber. The two figures start to leave your view, and you are pulled back into the world. The last thing you hear is Reginald yelling at you to put on the ring. You open your eyes and see Mamolta's large liquid hand shaking your shoulder. Yes, they are awake now. You sit up and see Melanie staring at you with a slight smile on her face. I believe we need to talk, she says. You get up while nodding, as this is a long overdue conversation you have been waiting to have. As you get ready to speak to Melanie, what will you do? Put the ring on your finger as Reginald had asked, or leave it off? The choice is yours. Leave your choice in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this episode of Einmeijer Swamp, consider leaving a like for the video. Until next time, I wish you a great day.